Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Stock Talk Thursday. It is January 13th. It's our second Stock Talk of the year. We're going to be looking at what is hot and what is not. And we got a couple good things to look at. And we're also going to take a look at what was hot last week and what was not hot last week. And we're going to compare and see how are those guys doing now that a week has passed. So let me go ahead and share my screen in here, and we will take a look at the chart. All right. All right, so I put a different background on here now. We've got the dark background. If you've been watching the past, you've seen the lighter background. I want to give the darker one a try, but it's kind of fun to play with charts here because I was on the light theme. That's what you remember seeing. Now we got the dark theme. I mean, you could be all silly and even do the pink theme if you wanted to do that. But for today, we're gonna be looking at things on the dark theme. So let's first take a look and see what our market has been doing. And right before I jump into there, feel free to throw something into the comments, or if you got any questions, feel free to throw those in there. Benjamin, I see you here. Thanks for being with us. If you got any questions, throw that in. I'd love for this to be an interactive thing with you guys here. So feel free to use that, and I will do my best to not skip over any questions. I want to make sure I get them all answered for you. All right, so the market, last time we looked at it, we were on the 6th. This day right here, that doji-ish looking candle. And we weren't quite sure what was going to happen, but sure enough, market came back down and put in another bounce off the 100 simple moving average and started moving up from there. So all of a sudden, it's like, hey, 2 points to make a line, 3 points to make a trend, and we had a 1, 2, 3. That's a really solid line right in there. And you can even pull that all the way back. Let me just do it this way. You can pull that line back to that candlestick right there. So you got a really solid line right over there. Got a low, a high, now a higher low, a higher high, a higher low. So we might be forming a bit of an uptrend. But today, of course, was not that pretty. It was kind of ugly. Big move down, closed just below the 50-day moving average. And so, that begs the question, are we still moving up? Like, is it still going to be an uptrend, or are we going to be, moving down again and retesting this line, or even the 100-day simple moving average again? And the answer to that is we're just going to have to wait and see. All right. So let me make sure I got everything here. Let's take a look at what happened last week, because there was some good stuff last week. Our hot stock, if you remember, was Coca-Cola. Let's take a look and see. And it looks like Coca-Cola is still pretty hot. It was this candlestick that candlestick last week. And it stayed up there. Every day has opened and closed at or above the 5-day exponential moving average. That means it's hot. So Coke is still hot, even though it's gone a little bit sideways here, right? And that's just to be expected. When you have a move up like this, you just need some consolidation. But still above the 5-day on Tuesday, touched the 10 EMA and bounced right up off of that. Now we've got a little bit of short-term resistance here at like the $60.90 range right in here. So we'll have to see if Coke can, push above that tomorrow or next week sometime and continue being as hot as it has been. But that was what was hot last week. Let's take a look at what was not hot. That was CRM, Salesforce. And, we had seen that it had been all the way up here at 310, and now is down, let's see, what was it? I think this day. No, I keep getting off one day. This was the day right here, about 228, 230. And it moved up a little bit, and then it ran into the 10-day exponential moving average and came slamming down today. So I would say that CRM is still not hot, as it can't push above the 10-day EMA there. And as soon as it touched it, it came crashing down just like the market. Benjamin, I see your question here. how do you like the new Charts by Tradeway program? What's your favorite feature? Mine is that it connects with Trader. That's great. Yeah, you can definitely connect with Trader. I don't have a Trader account set up yet, but I've got the virtual accounts. I've got two of them in here, two Trader virtual accounts. And then I just have the Ameritrade. So I have live quotes on here. Man, my favorite feature, if you're going to ask me what my favorite, I mean, there's a lot of them, right? But my favorite feature is going to be the journaling. And that's going to keep track of every single trade that you've done. And it's going to help you to, over the course of time, over a larger, what's the word I'm looking for? Just a larger pool of trades, be able to see what is working and what isn't. Stock Talk Thursday is like what's hot and what's not. But as a trader, we always got to be asking ourselves what's working and what's not, right? So if you can look at all your trades you've done, and say you've done 50 trades in the last 2 months, right? And you can look and see, oh, wow, this specific pattern, when I trade this, I'm killing it. It's going well. Whereas that specific pattern, I'm not doing so hot on that. Like, what's going on there? And now I can adjust my trade. I can either go to what's not working well and adjust that, or I can say, you know what? Forget that. I'm going to just trade more of what is working. And it helps us adjust our trading when we can go back and look at that history in a very clear way. And I'll show you where that is up in here. Now, I just recently got access to my version of charts before I was working on the beta version. So I don't have any trades in the journaling section here yet, but here's where they would show up. I wish I had some in here right now because I could show you graphs and all kinds of data and information that it collects so that you can see what what is working and what isn't. And, last thing I'll mention on this journaling part, because I thought this was fascinating. The developer who created this, he's got 25 years of trading experience, just absolute genius. And he created this with new traders in mind. He did not create this with professionals who've been doing this for decades in mind. But he realized he was wrong, because when he was looking back on his own trades, he was recognizing certain things like that specific strategy that I've been using is not doing as well as I thought. I always thought it had been making a lot of money, but it actually is not doing as well as I thought. And so he actually adjusted his trading, and he, as a 25-year trader, and we're talking like David Mitchell level, right? Like he's right up there with David Mitchell. As a 25-year trader, he's improving his trading using the tool that he just created here, this journaling portion of the platform. And I was blown away by that. I still think that's amazing. And so that is definitely my favorite part of Charts by Tradeway. So thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, I agree with you. The journaling part is awesome, and we need to use it more. And I think we will be using it more as we get more integrated with charts here. All right. Well, we went over what was hot and not last week, and now it's time to jump into what's hot and not this week. And we're going to do it with my new favorite way. This could be a little documentary. Yeah, it could be. We're going to do it with my new favorite way to look at this. We're going to come up to the home screen and go to the market. And if you remember last week, what do we do? Well, we're going to set this to the week, right? So we can look and see what sectors have been performing well and which haven't in the last week. So what is hot? What is the hottest sector that we are looking at here in this last week? Well, very easy to tell. It's energy, right? And so now we're going to go down to the heat map and look at energy to find out which stock within the energy sector has been one of the hottest. So we're going to hit our go big button right here. And energy is a little guy right down in here. You'd think it'd be a bigger piece of the pie, but there we go. And even in energy, not a whole lot of green, right? I mean, the last week's been a bit volatile, but one of the more green tickers out there would be Halliburton. So we'll click on Halliburton and let's go take a look at their chart. And as soon as you look at this chart, obviously, like, wow, okay, things go straight up like a rocket. So yeah, it's pretty hot. I mean, it's just a couple of weeks ago we were down the 23 range, and now we've, today at one point it was above 28. So that's pretty hot. We can zoom out and see what it's been doing over the last year. Kind of a rolling-ish, slightly uptrending stock, and then just shooting up here. I mean, if we threw a line right about there. So if we threw a line right there, just kind of touching the tops and getting resistance, you can see that we've broken up above that resistance. That's how hot this is right now. And we could even, zoom out to look at a 3-year chart, right? So this was before COVID. It actually wasn't hot at all before COVID. And then there's the COVID crash. Again, this is a 3-year weekly chart. Now let's take a look here. We throw a line, we can throw a nice line, probably right about there, a nice support line. Ooh, that's actually better than I thought. I did not draw this beforehand. So take a look at that. From there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches on the 3-year weekly, and we've been uptrending. At the bottom of the COVID crash, we were down here right around $4-ish, $4. And now we're up at 28, and you can see it was up even higher beforehand. So it's got more room that it could definitely go. As we're looking at this, take a look at all these earnings, right? I mean, beat earnings significantly each time that you had the solid green earnings box, and then beat earnings slightly each time that you had the green earnings, but it's not a solid green earnings, but no red in there. So we're beating earnings all the time. This thing's been uptrending since the COVID crash. I mean, if it was $4 2 years ago, or just a little less than 2 years ago, actually, and now it's at $28, do the math on that, right? Sevenfold. Like it's hot. So that's Halliburton. That's our hot stock for today. Let's take a look at what's not. And we're going to do it same way like I told you before. So let's go to market. Got the week that we're looking at. And what is the one? There's a couple sectors in here that haven't been hot. Tech also hasn't been hot. But there's one sector that's showing that has been the worst, and that's going to be consumer cyclical. We're going to hit the go big button. Find consumer cyclical. Right up in here, click on that. One of the reddest ones, you can see Tesla there, which is actually a bit surprising. Tesla is almost always, moving up, but that's not our what's not stock today. Today we're going to go with Etsy right in here. So clicking on Etsy, and you can already see. I mean, look at the technicals box right there is red, so you just know it's probably going to be pretty rough. So here is Etsy. And we're still on the 3-year weekly. No wonder that looked a little different than what I was anticipating. Let's go to the 6-month and take a look at this. All right. Now, I couldn't remember if I had chosen Etsy before as a what's not hot stock. So if I have, then forgive me. But also, if I have, I mean, look at that chart. It's so bad it deserves to be on the list twice. So Etsy, just a couple months ago, at the end of November, was up above $300 a share. Now, it's almost been cut in half. Not quite yet, but I mean, you put in one more day like today, and it'll be in half. So they're definitely not hot. Let's just zoom in a little bit here. Just boom. It's been riding below the 5-day exponential moving average. Last 2 weeks, it hasn't been above the 5 EMA. Came crashing down, came up to the 10, bounced down, made a lower low, came up. It did get up to the 20 there, but then came down, and it's just been ugly. And ugly day today, ugly day yesterday. And, actually in the last 3-4 days, the market overall has been up in the last 3 or 4 days, but Etsy hasn't. So even just comparing it to the overall market, it just can't even keep up. And so, a question you could ask, well, how far is Etsy going to go, right? I mean, how far is is it going to go? And so, well, let's take a look and see what we can see here. You look at these lows right down in here. That's about the 150 level. So maybe there. Let's see what the 3-year looks like. Yeah, that's just the right in there as well, that 150 level. So it could go there, but also you've got on the weekly, the 100, I was going to say 100 day, but it's the 100 weekly simple moving average. And so if that shows to be support, maybe it doesn't quite get to the 150, but we don't have to know what the future is to be able to trade. We just have to have an edge, right? Benjamin, I see what you're saying here. Put mania. Yeah, if you had gotten into a put at the right point here, let's say you never really catch the first move, right? I mean, say this thing comes crashing down, and as it comes up and it starts bouncing down off the 10 here, you're like, okay, I'm going to get into a put. And if you don't know what a put is, calls and puts, those are these options. We teach you all about it at Tradeway. Great way to leverage your money. And in this case, actually make money when the market's going down. So let's say you had gotten in there, right? About $240 on a put. Well, then the next 3 days, you would have been really happy, right? 1, 2, 3, and now you're down here. And you could have taken profit even just the next day and had a really sizable profit. It's all about timing, and it can be tough to time the puts. Would I go buy a put on Etsy right now? Probably not. Look where it is. Is that a good buy point? Well, I mean, how far away is it from the 10-day and the 20-day? I can't ride that out if I get into a put right now and it wants to come back up and bounce off the 20-day. Again, like it did back up in here. I can't ride that out. That's gonna be too much. So, but what if you just wait? What if you just wait until it pulls up and bounces off the 10 or the 20? Then it might be ripe for puts. So I'm not saying it would. I'm just saying it could be. So that would be a much better time to look at that. So thanks for typing that in, Benjamin. I like this. This is a lot more fun when we have some good interaction going back and forth. So that's great. So there you have it. What's hot? That'll be Halliburton. What's not? That'd be Etsy. So, one last quick look at the overall market. What is it going to do? I kind of posed that question at the beginning here, and we don't know the future. So we're not going to try and tell the future, but we're going to let the market try and show us. And so are we going to continue uptrending, or are we potentially going to break down and start, looking for a deeper pullback? We'll just kind of have to wait and see. Love to hear your comments and questions. You can still throw those comments in, even if you're watching the recording later on. So I'd love to hear from you. Want to learn more about what you would like to talk about and learn about on Stock Talk Thursday. So feel free to let us know what you would like to see happening and what you would like to talk about. And that'll be it for today. So we will see you guys next time on Stock Talk Thursday. Thank you.